Caution, wait, please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my lines. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, wait, please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my lines. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, look at my face, pay me respect. Please do not play with my line. If you want taste, what you gon' get? Shit that gon' bury your mind. All that's at stake, where is my check? Need every nickel and dime. You play with my race, put you in check. Stop at the vision and climb. They mad that these niggas done woke up and now all our visions to go. Where is the bag to get us so caught up? Yeah, that is the mission and goal. Staying on cold. Some of y'all doing too much. Straight up be looking like hoes. Never gonna grow. Can't count on you in clutch. Most of y'all doing the most. Like this is a show. Doing it for entertainment. Or you're doing it for clout. Or you're doing it to sit at the table with crackers for words in your mouth. I don't play with enslavement. These are the days of the South. These days we play differently. This is what black empowerment's about. Wait. I said there's no time for no friends. Either you with us against us, don't switch it, cause one of us dying to end. Hey, I'm keeping my eye on the lens. Watching the ops despising the picture cause they wanna see the white end. Hey, caution, wait. These do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, wait. Please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution.
Hold on, wait. See a black man doing great with black-owned businesses, building in a different state. Why you snakes way late in the grass, plotting on what you can take? Black money in a black bank. Black money is safe, protected, like it's heavily protected. If he ever feels threatened, then he go a lead and knock him off his check. Let's check this. For the record, he can never be weak. Disrespecting any checking your cheek. Rep your set, he reppin' red, black, and green. Never fold, won't break. There's no limit to what I do for mine. But you so they don't take them up with the anger and hate up all of my ancestors combined. You wanna get one time? I keep it fully loaded, extended in the fully auto effing to keep you from crossing that gun line. You in violation. I ain't never shot a caveman. You be the first, I'ma give you this work. You get in the way of my occupation, yeah. Like I'm the boss and I don't like the way that you talking. This is my office, get permission before you walk in. The yellow tape across the door means caution.
Wait, please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution, wait, please do not play with my mind. Hey, I do not play with my life. Wait, I keep protection for mine. You will not touch what is mine. I do not play with my shine. Caution.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome, family, to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, your brother Blacksmith, and sister Marcia will be joining us shortly. We got a lot to get into tonight. I see brother Tad is ready already. Ready, brother Tad? Brother Black is coming in. What's good, brother Tad? How you feeling? OG wisdom. Here we go.
I'm feeling good. I'm blessed and highly favored. Yeah, and I definitely want to thank you for holding me down this weekend. You know, it was greatly appreciated. But, you know, it's always good kicking it with you, building with you, getting your expert opinion and take on politics. And as we see as time winding down, we need to become more politically astute. So it's greatly appreciated, and we need to have more political conversations just to keep our people updated on where to start. You know, in the beginning, I think many of us, once we turned 18, we were just told, go register to vote. And that was your political education. Don't forget to register Democrat. That was the education right there. That's it. You know, nothing else. No civic engagement, no level of discernment, no logical thinking, or even know what our interests are and that we should vote our interests. So you walk in the crowd, you know, you walk in the audience through is greatly appreciated and valued. And shout out to our brother Mbwebe Shangi. You know, We may have him here and back on OG Wisdom. So shout out to that brother. He could bring us up to date with cryptocurrency and things of that matter, since that's his field of expertise.
Gotta have a pot to piss in.
Yeah, that's right. Got to have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. You know?
Yes,
it's been great. It's been a great week. It's definitely been a great week.
I'm glad to hear that because a lot of things have been happening this week. I'm telling you, boy, kept Sister Keisha up reading and everybody sending me all this info. As a matter of fact, for those of you who follow us on Instagram, I've uploaded a lot of content today and yesterday, so you guys can see. But we're gonna go over some of it tonight, of course, because as I said, so many things have happened. But I want to thank the OG Wisdom Podcast for having me this past Sunday. And we did get into some political commentary, which is very much necessary, especially today. Tonight, we are going to break down some of the things that we have been seeing of late in the media with a political measuring stick, if we will. So we are going to be very well informed tonight. So I'm excited. Shout out to the Yahoo movement. Some of them are inviting me to an event this coming Saturday the 30th. When I'm not looking at my calendar, I get confused. But like I said, we have to learn how to infiltrate spaces where we are not comfortable in order to get things done. So it's a panel conversation about Black women in history, and we're going to honor some of our greats and, get into what we get into. So I'll try to upload that flyer later on this evening or first thing in the morning after I get my bike ride in. I got to get my bike. I ain't ride my bike today. It's been raining. Made me mad, Ted. Made me mad.
Yeah, I got my bike out. I just need some air in the tire, and we're going to get back to it. I'm also about to start running again, too. As soon as I said this weather breaks, I'm start running. I've been back in the gym a little bit. Not hard as I used to. Not the every day, but it's three times a week, easy. 3 times a week I'm in the gym, but next week I'm looking to get back in there at least 5 times a week and then incorporate the running again and just get back into it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good, sis. Life is good.
That's what I'm talking about. I said April 1st, I'm going to go raw for another 30 days and get myself in tune and ready for summer because, listen, I'm going to tell you, family, I want you all to be in your best health, physically and mentally, because a lot is coming down the pike. When I tell you I be reading, we got 24 hours in a day. I probably read about 18 hours a day. So much so my eyes start hurting after a while. But there's just so much and we have a lot to cover. So we're going to get into all of that tonight. Let's give some shout outs real quick. Sister Donna, Brother Calwood out of Alabama in the gotta give love. Sister Lex, what's good? What's good?
Shout out to Lex.
We got to get you back on here real soon. Shout out to your mom for me. Tell her I said what's good. What's good? Brother Monty, Sister Joyce, my big brother and sister. What's good? What's good? Nassau County in the building. Brother Peace. By way of North Kakalaki. They here, y'all. They here. Brother Peace.
Salute, Brother Peace.
Yes, indeed. Brother Peace, you going to like the political measuring stick that I used this evening. You and I know very well. Once I start reading, you'll know. Sister Aminette too, the Midwest crew, you and your king. Hope everything is well. That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Sister Aminette too, and Brother Min too.
That's right. You got the Midwest crew. She came all the way to Brooklyn to get hers, boy. She wasn't playing about it.
All right. She like them boys up top from the BK. Shout out to our brother Mintu's son.
Yes, indeed, brother. Hope everything is well with you. Sister Farnessa. What's good? You see these markets, boy? I'm telling you. You see these markets, sis? Lot going on. Lot going on. Alabama on the check-in.
Salute, Sister Farnessa.
Big Russ, Philly family in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? We got Aunt Marie, Brownsville's finest. Here we go. Here we go. We ain't
All right,
playing, boy.
Auntie.
We covering the gamut out here. We covering the gamut. Yes, indeed.
Hey, that's
Brother
me.
Tad sending love. Brother Tad sending love to y'all. You see what I'm saying?
Word up.
Dr. Empress Filet. Let me tell you, Dr. Filet was up here this past week or last week at the United Nations making some big moves. So we got to get you, Dr. Filet,
What's up?
on here within the next week or two, because you got to give us the 411 on what happened at the United Nations and also the plans that MWM has going forward. Some big things are taking place. So here on Thorough Black Talk, we keep it thorough. We like to get it from the horse's mouth. We don't play.
Back.
Sister Pat. Brown
Yes,
Heights
Sister
in the
Pat.
building. Sister Veronica on the check-in. What's good? What's good? Sister Veronica
All right.
is what Brother Ray called her, the Wendy Williams of the conscious community. She be getting all the info. You want to know? You better ask Sister V. She know.
That's a fact.
Sister V, I don't know. We're going to get into it later. You know, Marcus Garvey, great-grandson, is out here doing some crazy things. But we're going to get into it. Oh,
Word.
yeah. Tad, you saw that? You saw
Nah.
it? Oh,
Nah.
we going to get into it. We going to get into it. I got to finish the shout-outs. Brother Cab, South Kakalaki, family in the building.
Straight from Chucktown.
That's right. Dr. Filet said, all right, she in here. So we're going to make it happen. So before we get started on some of the things in the news, there is a film and a documentary that is out, and I think you all should check it out. Now, the first one is Quiet on the Set. I think that's on Hulu. Or no, Max. I think it's HBO Max, I think.
Yeah, and Hulu.
Okay.
Because it's a I'm trying to think, is it an A&E show? But I know it's on Hulu.
I saw it on HBO Max, but
okay. Well, it's all over.
You guys check, your local listings or whatever, thing you have.
Quiet on the Set, the dark side of child TV or something? Because there's more than one Quiet on the Set, I've learned. There's another Quiet on the Set that has nothing to do with the Hollywood ring.
Oh, okay. Well, this one has to do with the carnage that was left behind during the late 80s, early 90s with Nickelodeon. And we'll get into all that. We get into all of that. Also, another one on Netflix, that is the Shirley Chisholm movie starring Regina King. Now, I can say I believe. Now, that's just my feeling. Regina King deserves an Oscar for her performance of Shirley Chisholm. So if you guys check it out, if you haven't, got a long weekend coming. A lot of people are off. Tomorrow is Good Friday for all my Christian family out there. So a lot of people are off the plantation. So, it is what it is. Sister Manera, what's good? Jersey family in the building. But we'll get into all of that. I think the film of about Shirley Chisholm was done well, in my opinion. Of course, they can't cover everything, but it's a good film to see. So check it out if you can. Dr. Filet say yes. So check it out if you can. You don't want to miss it. It's a good one. And as a matter of fact, speaking of the Shirley Chisholm film, there is a snippet of Shirley Chisholm, and I think I sent it to Brother Tad, and shout out to Brother Kifaro and Sister KJ, our Chicago family. But I sent them the clip of the film where I don't want to tell none of the film. I'm away. But something we discussed on this platform many times was confirmed in that film. So, we keep it thorough over here. We keep it thorough. Hold on. Dr. Filet say, yes, Sister Regina was off the hook. She definitely deserves an Oscar nod for that. I'm just saying, you We know how these things go, but I think she deserved an Oscar nod. She did the portrayal of Shirley Chisholm pretty good. Sister Veronica say she saw it. It's excellent. I'm telling you, see it. If you haven't, have you checked it out, Brother Ty?
Not yet, not the full movie.
All right. So we ain't gonna get too deep into it. We're gonna give y'all a chance to check it out. But
Give me something to do over the weekend.
yes indeed, yes indeed. But also check out Quiet on the Set, which is a I think it's 4 parts. I think it was 4 parts, a docu series on um some shady characters over at Nickelodeon. Dan Schneider being one and Brian Peck being another. These aggressionist predators, these children who are now adults, suffer greatly at the hands of these two. And while, a lot of light has been thrown on Diddy, and we'll get into that as well, we cannot leave what Dan Schneider and Brian Peck were engaged in. And what I like about this docu series, one of the victims of Brian Peck, explains in great detail how this predator was able to get him away from the clutches of his father, cause a rift. His parents were already divorced. So it was his father who got him involved in acting, and he was managing his career very on hands-on with his son. Now, he also managed the son's financial affairs. So this, what do you call it? You call those people on the set, dialogue coach, was able to persuade his mother to get the young man out of the clutches of his father. So Nickelodeon was filmed, I believe, in LA, but this young man lived in Orange County. So his mother didn't want to take the trip back and forward. So she allowed the dialogue coach to transport her son to and from the set. And sometimes he ended up spending the night at the dialogue coach's home. And he just waited his time before he pounced on this young boy and started essaying him. We can't say these words today because they will block you out. And this is another thing that's problematic because we can't even advocate for ourselves in our own voices anymore. We have allowed entities to co-opt free speech and further drive this nation into fascism, and that's quite dangerous. So we got to say SA on this platform. So that's the issue. So when we say that, we talking about. Brother Black, you ready? Brother Black, what's good? What's good?
What's up, Sister Keisha? What's up, Brother Tab? What's up, world? What's up, y'all? How you doing?
Brother Black?
How y'all doing out there?
Chilling.
All right, I'm ready to go. Go ahead, sister.
Sister Aminatu says she's seen snippets of Quiet on the Set. I'm not sure that I can even watch the whole thing. Well, I was able to watch the whole thing, and it was seriously disturbing. And I remember, quite frankly, some of the shows that were discussed on that Nickelodeon platform when my daughter was a young child. She often wanted to watch these programs, and I would tell her, absolutely not. You're not watching that. You're not watching that. You're not watching SpongeBob. You're not watching none of these things. But, after this thing has come out and I had sent her some video snippets that have been going around online, she, said, Ma, you was right. You was right. I noticed certain things weren't right, as far as programming for a child. And this dude, Dan Schneider, who was the creator and producer of some of these shows on Nickelodeon, was a tyrant and a pervert, if you will. Having foot fetishes, having a lot of sexual innuendo on a lot of the skit, which is a bunch of slapstick comedy for children, but it was a lot of sexual innuendo in this series. Brother Tad, did you get a chance to check out some of it?
No, like Sister Aminatu, I only seen snippets, but that is on my things to watch this weekend.
Definitely something that y'all should check out when you can. I'm gonna try to pull up. Let me see. I think I could pull this up. Hold on. Let's see. I got some. I got a snippet here, so y'all can see what this is. Let me pull us out. Let me see. Here we go. Give me a second, family. Here we go.
This is why I'm in Hollywood. Get your cereal, kids.
This is Dan Schneider, the producer behind hit Nickelodeon shows like The Amanda Show, iCarly, and Zoe 101, to name just a few. The kids' TV show powerhouse was subject to numerous investigations of abuse, sexual misconduct, and inappropriate behavior while overseeing these shows, and was finally let go from Nickelodeon in 2018. Now, a two-part docuseries investigating Schneider's alleged abuse, titled Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, is premiering on Investigation Discovery on March 17th.
It was a toxic environment.
It's a house of horrors. I've been waiting 17 years for today.
Schneider, a former child actor, began as a writer on Nickelodeon in 1993 on the sketch comedy show All That. Eventually, this led to the hit The Amanda Show, which cemented him as a wonder kid for the network, helping push Nickelodeon to a $10 billion a year success.
Hey, look at you. I love your outfit.
As early as 2000, a writer on The Amanda Show was investigated as part of a gender discrimination and hostile workplace claim. Though Schneider was not specifically named, it's heavily intonated this will be explored in Quiet on Set.
Today my special guest is the executive producer of The Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Both Jeanette McCurdy and Ariana Grande complained about a producer on the show Sam and Cat in 2013, and it was determined Schneider contributed to toxicity on set. Finally, Viacom CBS, Nickelodeon's parent company, launched another investigation in late 2017 and early 2018 into Schneider's alleged sexual behavior, but found no evidence of sexual misconduct. However, it was concluded he could be verbally abusive. To some, it felt as if Schneider's behavior was an open secret. Alexa Nicholas, who starred in Zoe 101, began making allegations against Schneider and by proxy Nickelodeon starting in 2018. Nicholas maintains the network knew about Schneider's behavior and did nothing.
I remember Dan Schneider like at every single wardrobe fitting for me.
Oh my God.
To the point where he would sit in the chair and I would come out and I would do a spin, and then he would look at the wardrobe artist and say, "Can I have the Polaroids?"
As allegations continued, the sexual undertones of some clips Schneider had produced or written have come under scrutiny. For example, it was common for actors like Ariana Grande to be put in compromising or suggestive positions, showing their feet or even putting them in their mouths or saying things that could be seen as suggestive.
I'm soaking wet!
Schneider denies any allegations, and a representative from Nickelodeon told Insider that the child actors' guardians were always on set, and each episode was reviewed by their standards and practices team. In 2021, Schneider told the New York Times he was working on other projects, some more focused on adults, and another for kids and their families. He told the Times, "Whatever I do next, I want it to outdo what I've done in the past."
This is why.
So, that's just some snippets. You will see, like on this clip, when they said that the parents were allowed on the set to, engage and see everything, was definitely not true. So definitely check out that docu-series. I believe it's 3 or 4 parts, but you will see clearly why Amanda Bynes flipped the way that she did and lost her mind, the way that this guy was so obsessed with her, was able to even try to have her emancipate herself from her family. It's really crazy. But, what triggers me, Brother Tad, in all of this is that when you see what has happened with R. Kelly and now what's happening with Diddy and, Dr. Bill Cosby, I want that same energy for people like Dan Schneider. Where's that energy? Where is the feds for him? Where is Homeland Security for him? Why is it that it's always hands off when it comes to these folks? It's serious. Sister Aminatu said you should see that chick, Amanda Bynes. She got on drugs bad and she looks nothing like she did. Absolutely. It's crazy. It's really crazy what's happened. And there's one brother who at that time was a child, starred on one of the shows, and this brother was, damaged psychologically, and caused friction between him and his mom, because he was a young man who felt that he made it, 12 or 13 years old, looking to get his family out of poverty. And his mother was very, very hands on, and she recognized things quite early, and she spoke up about these things. And so, instead of, you know, um, handling it like professionals, they labeled him a problem child because his mother spoke up with what was happening to him. There were sketches that you're going to see them put a suit on him where it looks like he's wearing a suit of penises. It just looks crazy. It just looked real crazy. So again, y'all check that out when you can.
And this
But
is in the documentary?
yes, all of it is in the docufilm. You got to see the suits that they put on him. It's really real. Like, you could see they were stretching the line with perversion. They had this one character, Brian Peck, who played Pickle Boy, if you will, with various celebrities who guest starred on the program, and it was very a lot of sexual innuendo as far as that is concerned. So you all see that, when you can. Sister said Disney messed up Orlando Brown. Yes, they're next. That's right. They're next. I'm not understanding how some of these parents allow their children to be handed off to these complete strangers, no matter the ethnicity. Seriously. Absolutely. As far as the this one young man who was really essayed badly, like I said, this predator was able to pry a wedge between him and his father, um, and try to subdue the consciousness of the mother. He was able to do that so that he can gain access to this young boy who was essayed on many occasions. Many occasions. So, like I said, and listen, I don't want to give too much away, but when you see it, you're gonna be like, yo, where the feds at for these cats over here? But I believe Brian Peck ended up doing some time, I think 7 years, if you will. I can't remember off top right now. But it's definitely problematic. Sister Lex said they draw Disney characters. Yes, 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 yes. That's an absolute fact. That's an absolute fact. And quite serious. Sister Marcia, you ready? All right. Sister Marcia, what's good? We right now we talking about this Quiet on the Set docu-series that was on I don't know. For me, I saw it on HBO Max. Some people can see it on different platforms. But were you able to check it out or no?
Well, first, let me say happy Blacktastic Thursday to everyone. Family, I hope y'all had a great week, and it is exciting to see y'all all again. Brother Tad, Brother Black, Sister Keisha, thank you again. And no, I have not yet watched that one, but I've been watching a whole bunch of other stuff. And the internet streets just be spilling all the guts, so you get the juicy parts. Oh, some juicy, huh?
Look how things work, boy. It came right off your tongue. See what I'm talking about? But let me play this clip and we'll come back and we'll discuss, because we got to get into all that juicy, Sister Marcia. Here we go, family. More info on Dan Schneider. Here we go.
A new tea has surfaced. Jack Salvatore, the actor who played Mark on Zoe 101, posted a video in response to Dan Schneider's apology, recounting some of Dan's troubling behavior.
We could talk about the massages. We could talk about the fact that he would literally count his gold coin collection in front of his crew who was living paycheck to paycheck. We could talk about how sometimes he would bring out his shotgun to scare one of the writers when they were working at his house. We could talk about the high-level conversations I wasn't supposed to hear about how Nickelodeon didn't want to recommend antidepressants for Jeanette McCurdy after her mom died for fear that she might kill herself and make the network look bad. But what I do want to talk about is never letting this stuff happen again. This is an entire industry built on hope and dreams and adrenaline and wish fulfillment. And that can be a very dangerous thing for megalomaniacs to wield. Even in posting this, I'm a little afraid. Is this going to screw up my career moving forward? I have no idea, but I think it's important and it needs to be said. Because if my silence ensures the perpetuation of environments I don't want to work in anymore, then what is the point of working in them? And until Homeboy goes on 60 Minutes to answer some questions from some real journalists and not a cast member of his who he's paying to be there, apology not accepted.
Some juicy new
Facts. We gotta deal with these predators surrounding our children, and that's very problematic. I saw firsthand for a lot of people to get involved in. You know, even here in New York, when we outed a predator in the community, so many people didn't want to get involved. You know, and that just shows your hand. It really shows your hand. So, you know, it is what it is. Sister Marcia, you know, some juicy right there. You know, he not only was a predator, but he broke child labor laws. He broke employment laws for adults. So many things that were just unethical with his dealings. But they kept him on because, you know, like they said, he made billions for the network.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in a capitalist society, money talks and feelings walk away. The carement of children is not something that we put on the forefront. And even if parents were on set or were not on set, after you viewed your child doing certain things, would you not, in the carement of your child, say, nah, ain't no amount of money is good enough for my child to be portrayed like this or to act like this? I don't think that in this society today, we truly think about the repercussions of certain things that happen to people. We're just so focused on material. How much money am I going to make off of this? How much? Oh, this isn't going to matter. But, you know, 10, 15 years, you see the light. You see people not well in these streets. And so many times it's because they faced the traumatic experience and no one was there to protect them. No one was there to assist them or even afterwards help them transition in a healthy way. And yeah, we could say there's counselors out here that's helping people, but sometimes counseling doesn't even go far enough because it's not, especially within our community, culturally based, right? So they're out here just talking about surface things and not truly helping the people connect with who they are inside because their inside is broken. It's not so much, you know, sometimes I see in counseling and even with my son who goes to counseling, it's very superficial. And I'm like, therapist, guy, you got to go deeper. You got to really hit it on the nail. And, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings. So then why is he in counseling with you? And so then you have to find a new counselor, you know? So that's how you have to be proactive with your children out here and even with yourself, right? So I just feel that this is disgusting. Our children were watching these things. Our children mimic these things the same way that they're mimicking the things that they see in videos, video games, movie videos, music videos, all of these things. They're reenacting them as if this is what life is supposed to be like because we are in such a materialistic world and we're not thinking about the other side. And the other sides go deeper and people don't want to go deep. You know, it's just front things and that's it. But that's what I have for right now.
Which brings me to Diddy. You know, all of you have seen what's been happening or, you know, everything that has taken place. We've discussed it already here, but some other things have transpired. Department of Homeland Security, in conjunction with other law enforcement groups, descended on his properties in Miami and I believe Los Angeles. They also stopped him from boarding a private jet, which this whole thing is problematic. I'm going to try to break down this thing legally, what's taking place here, because a lot of misunderstanding of the law is present here, beginning with the Department of Homeland Security. I don't understand why they would be at the forefront of this investigation. Last week we covered what falls under
Which
Homeland Security.
agency? Yep.
Right. And I don't know, unless it was some trafficking of non-citizens, if you will, across border lines, if there was substances that were trafficked across border lines. But even so, I find it strange that the Department of Homeland Security is at the forefront and not the FBI. So, I'm going to try to explain this as best I can as we go through all of this. But before we do, let me just show you all this clip of some of the names that have been listed, if you will, in the legal filings as far as associates of Diddy. Not saying that any of these people are guilty of anything. They have not been charged with a crime, and neither has Diddy, for that matter. He has not been charged with a crime. So this is very, very problematic. We may have an inkling or an idea of what may have transpired, but there is no legal charges. There are no charges against him at this time. So let me just show y'all this clip of some of the names that have been listed in association, not saying that they are accused of anything, but just in association. Here we go. So there you have it. Here are some of the folks that have been named in the filings as associations for whatever reason with this. Again, no one has been charged of a crime here, and that in itself is problematic. And I'm going to explain as best as I can what's happening here. But before we do, Brother Tad, your thoughts on what's been happening with Sean Diddy Combs?
I don't know if I said this last week or the week before last. I don't know Puffy personally at all. Only been around him that I can remember twice in my life. But I do see this as a witch hunt. And I said he had to piss off somebody in a high place. Because remember, the end of 2023, mid-23, towards the end of 23, they kept saying he's going to jail, but they kept saying for the Tupac deletion. Because Keefe D made a confession, implicated Puff in it, and everybody's like, oh, he going down. That's the rumor mill. I knew he wasn't going to go to jail for that. Even with now, there's no arrest warrant issue because there's no evidence to get an arrest warrant. What I believe personally is that it's a fact-finding mission for someone who is down with him for them to get their agency to delete evidence before they truly come for him. So when they come for him, they won't be implicated as well. They're sending their agency. If you see anything with me on it, bring it to me, destroy it, and then we'll go after him. Because as it stands right now, it's too many people in high places. They're just showing us the black folks. Ain't that peculiar? The Clark sisters, Smokey Norfolk, T.D. Jakes. Are we serious?
Swallowed.
You coming for our church now. Meanwhile, I don't know if people seen the Candace Owens interview that she had with the Jewish rabbi, where she ate them up and let them know your religion does not trump mine, because these are the people at the helm. of all of this deviance. We see it with Nickelodeon. Corey Haim deleted himself. Corey Feldman told him, because he was best friends with Corey Haim, in an interview years ago, said, yo, y'all keep going after Michael Jackson. I just gave you 1,000 names. Focus on them. And I doubt any of these people were black. But nonetheless, he gave you big names. We seen Weinstein, we seen Epstein's, all these things, Frankenstein, all of them. All of them is down with this stuff. But Puff was in the inner circle. Probably thought he wasn't probably thought he was untouchable. So to your point about the law, it's due process. There's steps they have to take. You can accuse somebody all you want. And like Sister Marcia said, the internet streets is on fire. But the internet is not judge, jury, and executioner. It's easy to plant a thought in people's mind with social media now. And, you know, people here, you could put a fake headline up and people run with it. And it spreads like wildfire and people share it. All types of misinformation has often been spread on the internet. Now, I'm not saying that he hasn't done any of this stuff. I'm not saying that. The fun boy activity, you know, the rainbow parties he been having. But we got to question the people. You sold your soul. The moment they came to you with that foolishness, you're supposed to be like, nah, this ain't the job for me. I'm out. But just like, I don't want to say his name from the Bronx, you stayed. You stayed. And not only did you stay, you went back. The journalist Torre gave a brief story about one of his relatives. He hooked him up with an internship at Bad Boy. And he said that it abruptly ended with his relative. And his relative never told him why till years later. According to Torre, it's not Brother Tad, I never spoke to these people, but according to Torre, Puffy told his nephew, yo, spend the night with me or this job is over. Needless to say, homie was like, then this job is over. That's the solution. So what Sister Marcia was saying, people are so infatuated with materialism and being next to this one and being, I was partying with this one and I was hanging out with that one. I had the opportunity to be with a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you, you all know when the energy is not right, whether it's celebrities or people in the family. And I got enough love for myself to know that I'm a shining star. I don't need to be with these fun boys doing these suspicious activities. But these people, and I'm not, and please let me be clear, I'm not victim blaming. However, adults, because we're not talking about Nickelodeon, we're talking about grown men. Adults have to take accountability for their actions and what they decided they want to participate in. Because now, what the dude named Little Rod, one of the producers, he implicated Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. Come on, man. First of all, you're not gonna get me to sleep with no dude, let alone pass me around like a bus down as a grown man. Like, yo, tell my homeboy he could hit it. What? Are we serious? Like, we talking about grown men. But check this out, though. When real men stand up and speak and say, yo, he's suspect, he a fun boy, he fruity, we wrong, we homophobic. No. Certain behavior shouldn't be tolerated because it's a gateway to other stuff. And now everybody see it. I'm about to pass the mic, but I just got to give a shout out to 50 Cent because he's the troll of all trolls. Because now Stevie J want to fight 50 Cent. 50 Cent, you know, he's exposing him like, yo, dude, that's you in the screenshot with the white guy. Like, it's crazy, man. But we know who runs Hollywood. We know who runs the music industry. Many of us know how Hollywood was formed. We know how these people came into power. It's always been lies and deceits and degeneracy. And we got to get back on our moral square and denounce this stuff. Not for the money, but just for the sake of righteousness and protection of our children. I seen a video, Sister Keisha, I got to send it to you. It's an advertisement of a Black-owned business with characters, but all of them are twerking and gyrating, and one lady got her 2-year-old son smacking the character on the booty while the character is twerking and gyrating. And this is my issue on what we keep saying is Black culture. This is not Black culture. This is degenerate culture that has been forced on us to justify the mistreatment of us, saying that we're degenerates by mimicking the behavior of our oppressors, liars, and deceivers. And I say deceivers because this particular group will support Black Lives Matter, come in our community, dump money and act like they're our friends, but only do this to buy a leadership position, get our pastors and imams to walk with them, the chosen people, walk with them while they walk us straight to hell. We got to be mindful, and we got to practice a level of discernment. I am by no means saying that Puffy's innocent, because I don't know. But what I will say is that my intelligence will let me be stupid and not be able to peel back the layers and detect when it's a setup and BS is going on. Because if all this really happened, you'd have enough evidence just to issue an arrest warrant. Then you could go in and get all the quote unquote evidence you're looking for. But they're moving backwards. And for the layman, because most people now layman, because all their information come from social media, was nothing vetted and verified nor researched. You can say anything and people buy it. But I'm off my soapbox real quick. I just had to get that out there.
Sister Marcia, your thoughts on this whole situation?
I echo the sentiments of my brother Tad 1000%. He didn't say nothing wrong except for one thing.
I knew it had to be something. I was say, you messed up Blacksmith Day if you didn't disagree with something I said. He was gonna cry and log on.
I'm trying to get Sister Keisha out of here, right?
No.
It's too early. Too early.
It's in proximity, right? When we talk about 50 cents and now with Daphne, his second child's mother,
yes.
Coming up and saying, well, dude, now you're filing for full custody and you haven't seen your child or our child but 10 times. I feel like,
see, I didn't want to go there.
I want to go there because it is part of community and connection, right?
Yes.
You cannot be bashing one man, and I'm going to bash Diddy on this point too. You cannot be bashing one man for all these antics and then not look at yourself as well. We must face our own mirror and not being more present. I don't know what that looks like because we come from the same neighborhood. So I know the antics of a father who's very neglectful to their child. So I know that antic. And to tie that back into Diddy, leaving your boys in the house when the men come. And, I don't know if there's behind the scenes conversations, but all we see, right, from the interstreets is that your boys are handcuffed and you're nowhere to be found, nor do you roll up like a father's supposed to, right? Because I think that's your role. Your role is to be like, yo, I'm checking for my children. So the same way you are checking for his bad behavior, you're supposed to check for your children. You can't just sit there and leave it, oh, he did all these bad behaviors, and you're doing bad behaviors too on a different level.
I want to say this real quick.
We're creating community.
I want to say this real quick in terms of fatherhood, because again, I don't know these dudes. And what I said, she said he hasn't seen his son in at least but 10 times, which I doubt. How old is their son? That's one thing.
I don't doubt.
Hold on. Because I want to say this. Because as a businessman, a busy businessman, you bringing home, you're making the money, she should be rearing the child. Hold up. Because I don't know if you saw the court documents, but she's implicated as Puff worker, as his intimate worker. I don't know. Can we say S worker? Can we say S worker, Sister Keisha?
We can say intimate worker. We're all adults here.
We'll say intimate worker, right? Hold up. Blacksmith, because I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Hold on. What did Black say?
What you said, Black? His son is 6?
No, a 6.
A 6 worker. A 6 worker.
Okay, a 6 worker, a number 6 worker. I like that. But my point is this, right? And like I said, with the internet, people can say what they want to say. I remember I was accused of kidnapping. This is real rap, and this was recent. I was accused of kidnapping my children's mother, other daughter. She told the police, yeah, and Tad came and he kidnapped her. People could say what they want because that wasn't the case. Because my older daughter's like, she's lying. I asked my father to drive me over here. That's what he did. He never even got out the car. That's a fact. People will say anything when they're upset. And I just gave you a personal experience. That was less than a year ago. People lie all the time, especially when they're upset with someone. And in terms of puffy children, those are grown men. Ain't near one of them no teenager. And he was in Miami. He didn't even know they was coming. So it's not like he said, yo, the police coming, I'm out. See, when we talk about this, right, Sister Marcia, we got to be clear on the narrative and remove the emotions out of it and really speak the facts. Because if they're in LA and he's in Miami and he didn't know they coming, it's not like he knew the police was coming and he left his children to get arrested, take the fall, how you just presented it. And we got to be careful when we do that, because when we start giving misinformation, not lying, because lying is intentional, but when we speak out of emotion and we're not clear with it, because emotion blinds us, it almost makes us lose credibility. And then when we talk in real factual, it's almost like people take it away from us.
No,
I always want to be clear. Look, thank you, Crush. Justin is in his 30s and King is in his 20s. Those are not children. It's not like he left a 6 and 7-year-old boy at home. Those are grown men who are capable of taking care of themselves, and he wasn't even there.
I totally
So
agree.
I just want to say that for clarity.
No, I totally understand your point, and I appreciate the clarity that you presented. And for me, it's like, I don't think it mattered how old a child is when you're checking. And I think, again, because we're looking at it through the lens of the internet, we only see what the internet presents. And that's what I said as well. As if, like, I don't know if he called them afterwards. Y'all sons, y'all good?
I'm certain he did.
What's happening? How'd y'all get out? You know, I sent the lawyer. I did this, I did that. I don't know all of these things, or none of us know all of these things. But what I do know is that I've personally been around fathers who are neglectful, and you know fathers who are not neglectful, right? And when that happens, I guess I do feed on my emotions of these people. I don't care how old. I think if something happened to you tomorrow or this next second, your pops is gonna run up like, son, you okay? Like, I feel like that's a thing in our community when there are bad fathers that don't show up, or maybe not very neglectful. If you want to say the man is busy and too busy to do quality times, I disagree with that point. I don't care how much money you're making or how much you're building.
I'm just saying we don't know that.
I
know what an emotional woman has said.
I don't care what empire you're building, right? Because sometimes you're not building empires. Sometimes you sit and scratching your toes and you don't show up for your child. I think it's bad, and it's bad for another man to be presenting all of these things and not presenting their own self in conversations as well, because this wouldn't be the first child that he has been deemed to have not been so present in their life.
And all those were lies again, because again, here it is, right? And I want Sister Keisha and Blacksmith to jump in. I don't want us to dominate it. But see, I'm always a father advocate, because I've seen fathers lied on time and time again. I think we've seen it on television. Fathers accused of essaying their children when that was not the case. We're taught in this climate, the Me Too movement is believe all women. We've been told that, and we can't do that because it doesn't serve us on our fact-finding mission. Now with 50, and this is just from what I know and from what I've read and watching him with his son prior. I remember people said, this is off the cuff, but on the same vein. I remember when people was like, Dr. Farrah Gray disassociated himself from his father, Dr. Khalid. And I've always seen Dr. Farrah Gray big up his father, but I've seen people regurgitate that foolishness who did not know. Now, I've seen I met Dr. Farrah when he was 12 with Dr. Khalid, and I've always seen him with Dr. Khalid, always. But if you let the internet streets tell it, Dr. Khalid was a deadbeat. If you let the internet streets tell it, and that is just not true. And I've watched people say so much erroneous stuff on social media, but they be so wrong and strong. They be strong in their wrongness that it sounds convincing, like they know what they're talking about. Now, 50 with his son, and he talked about it in his book. His son's mother didn't want to work. He said, I wasn't in love with her, but I still felt an obligation to help her. I said, I'm rich now. Whatever you want to do, I'll help you. He said, if you want to go to school, whatever you want to do, I got the money. She said, why do I have to do anything? You rich. He said, that pissed me off. He said, because one thing I don't like is people counting my money. I earned this. I will help you. So he told his son, yo, you a sneakerhead. I bought you a bunch of I bought a sneaker store for you. Ship them, get you and your best friend that you trust, ship it out of a storage unit in Atlanta, which is a lot cheaper than a brick and mortar because everything was going to the internet. 50 said. 50 said, I'll sponsor it. He said, I'll get back to you. His son Marquise never got back to him, but then the mother calls and said, we don't want a sneaker store, we want a boutique. 50 said, pump your brakes. Who said you was part of this? This deal was between me and my son. But since she couldn't get the money, she turned her son against his father. Most boys don't go against their fathers unless their mothers tell them to. And their mothers got to beat them in their head. This is something, and as a boy with a father, an active father, let me tell you, it ain't no man we love more than our father, right, wrong, or indifferent. But there got to be some type of programming to turn me against the man that gave me life. There's things, and like I said, this is the internet street. This is from his book I've read. And remember, his son was always in his videos. Everybody knew who his son was. But again, we are on the outside looking in. But what we're talking about is community involvement, protecting our children. But not just the parents protecting the children. It has to be a whole village. The whole village has to protect the children. Because sure enough, when I go to my regular 9 to 5, when my children were little, I entrusted them to the people in the community. So if something happened to my child while I'm at work, what are you going to say? He is a neglectful father because after school he got hit by a car? We got to watch the words we use because we perpetuate the white supremacist ideology that black men ain't this and black men ain't that. Even those who are out here making millions, taking care of their family and their families. Like, these people have beat the odds. 50 could have stayed a drug dealer on God Brewer. He could have been shot dead or locked up. And God knows they tried to kill him. It ain't like he ain't been locked up. So he made a different decision with his life so he could take care of his legacy. But the higher you go, the more people try to pull you down because that's the hood mentality. We don't like to see nobody fly. We don't like to see nobody do good. It's that Willie Lynch syndrome that we got going on. Same as men and women, we always got to fight. So if my baby mother go mess with the ops, I would hope nobody believe her just by her character. Whether me and her don't get along, don't go rock with my ops. You don't do that. But that's exactly what his baby mother did. So how do we trust anything that she say? We gotta be smarter than how we be operating, because this is how we get tripped up all the time. People tell us anything about anybody. I knew Bill Cosby wasn't gonna die in jail. I knew that to be a fact because I know the law and I study it. I don't listen to the internet. Even when he got convicted, I said he'd be back on appeal. Shout out to Bill Cosby. Welcome home. We got to be more discerning and stop taking everything for face value. It's my only point. So with Diddy, no charges against him, but everybody like he's going to jail. I'm not saying he's super clean. And just like a snake, he may slither out of this one. And then what? He's the last man standing in the whole East Coast, West Coast beef. Everybody gone. From Suge, to Pop, to Big, to Stretch, to Dexter Isaacs, the guy who said he shot Pop. Everybody going but Pop.
I think my viewpoint.
I'm sorry, fam. I haven't got on my tangent.
No, I think you're great. I think my viewpoints was a little bit more personal because I know this story a little bit more intimately. I've been around, so and it's neither here or there. I'm just calling on the idea that parenting is a little bit more than what we've been presented with. And community is a lot more than what we've been presented with. And to your point, if you're out working, you expect the community to help in the rearing and holding down the family to making sure that they are in the best positions possible, because you don't want your child to get hit by a car and then blame it on me. I was at work, so how is it my fault? I get it. I'm just saying, because of the experience that I've had, my own personal experience, and the connections that I've had, there is something wicked out here with not all fathers, but some fathers. And the same way we must address community actions, we must address parenting, because not all mothers are great either, so I'm not gonna even just sit there and say it's all the fathers. No, because
can the church say Ashe?
Ashe?
Can the church say Ashe?
Because there are mothers, like that video that you were talking about. There's a mother or a young lady sitting there saying tap that butt. Like, my guy, the baby is in a diaper, and this is what you're promoting, right? And again, the first educator of any child is
mama,
mother, right? No matter how great the family is, the mother is its first educator, and the mother places the value system that the child will live with for the rest of their lives. And if they don't do that, and they don't have community around them to reinforce some of that negative conversation, it is a bad world. Bad world out here for children. And we don't accept bad boys for life. We want healthy communities. We're tired of the materialistic, heathenistic communities that we have out here. But that's it.
Ashe.
I'm sorry, Sister Keisha. It's okay. I mean, listen, we gotta go in because this is what the people need right now. But one of the things that I want us to remember, and I've said it here on this platform many times, unless you get your sexual deviancies in check, they will use it against you. Another thing that I have been saying, that until we have mechanisms to protect what we have, they will continue to come for it. You don't have to believe me, but the handwriting is on the wall. One thing I know very clearly is that the reason why you don't see law enforcement or the feds, if you will, go after people like Dan Schneider or Les Moonves, former head of CBS, husband, what's her name? Julie Chen. But the reason why you don't see law enforcement and the like go after them is because I want you to all hear me clearly. White men are protected by natural rights. Black men are protected by civil rights. Civil rights have to be renewed. Natural rights are a given. Until we have mechanisms to protect it, until Black people are on an even footing stool with white folks as far as the Constitution is concerned, we are out here playing with ourselves. Diddy, Kanye, it don't matter. And some people in these internet streets saying that Jay may be next. I don't know, but you better get your deviancies in check, Black man. I'm telling you, because listen, as the two panelists were previously discussing, you have a lot of bitter people out here. You have a lot of mentally unstable folks out here. And if you don't have mechanisms to protect you, they can use these lies or innuendos against you in their favor. You have no protection, but you want to be out here getting money. That's all we need to do. You are a fool. You are a fool. Let me tell you something. The reason why our people were so successful during Reconstruction, and I'm going to say it again, is because as far as the political process is concerned, let me be clear. Black people were a part of the selection process of candidates back then. That's why they were able to maintain economic prowess and develop their own communities and be protected. There were so many Black men that the people selected to represent them in Congress. Today, selections are made for Black people, and you elect out of those selections. You have no protections, and white supremacy hopes that this is irreversible. Now, how do I know all of this? Because one, I was groomed under the great attorney at war, Alton H. Maddox. And everything that listen, Brother Peace is in the chat, Sister Pat is in the chat. I'm sure the History Hitman is in the chat. I can tell you, and Dr. Filet is in the chat. We had 5 to 8 hour classes so that we can understand what we're dealing with here. So I went into the archives. Y'all know me. This is Thorough Black. Keep it thorough. I found something that the attorney at war had written back in 2019 or early 2020. Now here we go. He says Thomas Jefferson was a slaveholder when he penned the Declaration of Independence in 1776. He believed in natural rights and not individual liberties. Natural rights could only extend to white men. It would take another 150 years before white women gained the right to vote. Blacks were considered as heathens. Whites were entitled to their natural rights as a matter of birth. Blacks, on the other hand, are assigned civil rights, which cannot be acquired without paying a price, and afterwards, maintenance fees. During the Civil War, Black men fought and paid with their lives for civil rights legislation and 3 constitutional amendments. During the Civil War, on July 17, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln came to grips with the fact that the Union could not deliver a military victory without Black men in uniform and armed to the teeth. The dispute hit the fan at Fort Sumter in South Carolina, April 12, 1861. White men had exhausted all of their non-military solutions. Soon after, Blacks had saved the Union. Let me say that again. Blacks had saved the Union. Congress enacted the Civil Rights Act of 1866. This was the first civil rights legislation. White men had enjoyed the complete package and still enjoy the complete package based on natural rights, not on civil rights. Their rights do not have to be renewed. Blacks may have arrived in the White House, but we are still not seen as being entitled to natural rights. Okay, family? Social promotions fall short of real protection. You can get what he's saying is you can get out here and flap your gums all you want and rah, rah, rah all you want. That does not garner you real protection. Blacks are still required to pay a debt to the United States in order to maintain these civil rights. Frederick Douglass said it best. You may not get everything you pay for, but you will pay for everything that you get. Blacks have enjoyed emancipation, but still suffer from the badges of slavery. If left unchecked, Black fratricide and civil rights leaders will cause genocide for Blacks. They are deleterious consequences to the badges of slavery. What he's saying is when he says, if left unchecked, Black fratricide, meaning Blacks will kill themselves, will harm themselves. if left unchecked. Isn't that what you see today? Blacks are deleterious consequences. There are deleterious consequences, meaning there are hidden consequences to the badges of slavery. So I want y'all to understand what he's saying. If you don't believe me, you can look up these words yourself, okay? I do keep a dictionary every time I read. After Reconstruction, blacks were eventually barred from the selection of political candidates. They could, when permitted, only elect candidates. The political process, as it stands now for blacks, starts with the election rather than selection of political candidates. The exclusion of blacks from the selection process is relatively easy. Blacks have failed to form their own political party. The U.S. Supreme Court ended the white primary in 1954 in Smith versus Allwright. But blacks were still discouraged from entering the polling booths. When Voting Rights Act of 1965, again another act, another Civil Rights Act, was enacted, most blacks were under the Democratic tent. The Democratic Party was able to groom blacks for electoral politics. Only leading blacks could win political primaries. He who pays the piper calls the tune. Within a decade after the enactment of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, I can see the direction of political wins for persons of African ancestry. The more these blacks were being selected to political offices, the worse our conditions were getting. In other words, we were flying backward. White supremacists hope that this flight in the wrong direction is irreversible. Now you understand why there is so much control on free speech. They want us to remain in the position that we're in. With the Supreme Court's ruling in Citizen United versus FEC in 2010, rich whites and corporations are at liberty to choose and sponsor black candidates. Otherwise, would have limited alternatives in campaign financing. White supremacists become further empowered politically. The ruling has made it impossible for blacks to enjoy meaningful political representation. It has had the same effect as the 3/5 provision of the U.S. Constitution. So, it is whites who finance these black candidates that are put before you to select, and you fall for it because you think you're winning, but you're not. You're not. To acquire and maintain political power, other communities have special interest groups. How many times have I said we need our own lobbying groups? How many times? Trade associations. Come on. Trade associations, advocacy groups, and professional associations. That means the business community, black businesses. You are responsible here for this. So instead of Puffy saying, take that, take that, take that, take that, and talking that stuff, pandering to black people to get upon the Democratic plantation, you get what you deserve. Period. It has nothing to do with his guilt or innocence. You are a tool who was used, and now your time is up. This is the game. Bill Cosby did the exact same thing, pandering to black people, to the Democratic Party, to get yourselves together in front of white folks. You were a tool who was used, and now your time is up. It has nothing to do with these men, guilty or innocent. I want you to see the power play that they are using against you, black man. It's a power move. And you can't be saved unless you develop a mechanism to protect your goddamn self. Now, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Your thoughts on this description of what we're dealing with. I hope the audience see this clearly now.
Okay, Brother Black, take it on.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I've been wrote the book on this and none of y'all buying it, so I'm gonna flail some of y'all because as Brother Tad was involved in the music industry some years ago, like I was, I seen all this 20, 30 years ago. So like, you know, once I peaked game for real, and then the internet became what it became, I ain't never worried about none of these people other than the fact that they would be my competition when I come out with something, because I ain't never said I retired to nobody. Okay. It's all dovetailing, like I told you, with what's supposed to happen in a week and a half from now, which is the solar eclipse on April 8th. And maybe in January, maybe early February, one of our first shows after our hiatus in the Christmas and New Year season. One of the shows I had told y'all repeatedly, y'all are going to continue to see celebrity gossip and celestial events continue to happen. So I've been saying this, and now that it's actually happening, people ain't focusing on who's been telling them this for years now. Solar flares, all that, whatever, y'all know, because we can go back to the tape and see it. So here we are now, and what are we going to do about it? Okay, if you part of the true 144,000, I know I am. I ain't talking for nobody but myself right now. Just activate and do what you got to do when the time comes, because that flash going to hit your ass so fast, you ain't going to know what hit you. You're going to be in a whole nother dimension like, oh shit, what just happened? I don't know what happens after that, but I know I'm going to be working toward making this paradise for us once again. I'm done.
Yes, indeed, brother. I want you all to understand something real plain and simple here. We are dealing with a diabolical entity. Period. We can't play games anymore. We can't. It's getting worse. Do you not see what's happening in Alabama? Legislation, what's happening with Florida's legislation, what's happening with Texas legislation? We are playing around out here. And I think, let me see. Sister Pat said, the attorney Maddox said, some people are judged on the spirit of the law and others the letter of the law. Come on. We were trained very well. We were trained very well.
Can I give you another one, Sister Keisha?
Go ahead.
These lawyers and activists and, you know, politicians ain't playing civil rights. They're playing silver rights.
Facts. It's about getting bread in our name, in our blood.
Shout out to Mayor Eric Adams.
He keep getting in trouble, don't he?
Kick him off, Sister Keisha. Kick him off.
I'm saying that's my man. Look, I'm always going to rep New York. Shout out to Mayor Adams. Shout out to Diddy with the key to the city. Yeah, New York in the house.
Yo, Tad is a damn troublemaker. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Sister Marcia, your thoughts real quick.
Well, Brother Tad, you'll be paying $15 every moment you drive into New York. So enjoy that with your mayor.
I'm hopping the train.
Please, you're gonna be scanned with the metal detectors at the police at the train station, so you can't escape the New York that's happening right now.
Yes, I'm gonna give y'all a jail hat. The plastic envelope openers, the plastic letter opener. Get him in the gut.
Delete.
Stop me from protecting myself.
Oh,
so you know.
Yeah.
Mayor
That's between
Adams,
us, though. Don't tell nobody else.
No, you just told the whole world.
Listen.
Hey, Tad, you committing violence on federal lines, man. DHS gonna come get you.
Department of Homeless Services?
Yes, they're gonna come through your door.
That's only DHS I recognize.
Hey, they gonna come with Biggie and kick in your door.
That spirit.
Oh man,
not but trouble.
But I do like what Sister Keisha presented though, because Sister Keisha on the real, we need those historic lessons to put things in this proper context. Because I mean, this panel, our audience are pretty much well-learned people, or people who are here to learn with an open mind that's ready to receive new information, because they know the mainstream information don't cut it. So what people think is Black history or our story is not. And I'm glad you put it in its proper context on how it relates to us all, because I think like this year is probably the most critical presidential election we've had in centuries, I dare say. Because like look at the choices we have. And I think it goes back to what you was talking about, representation for us, you know, and that's because we've officially been dumbed down.
And to add, I think the Shirley Chisholm movie definitely discuss the idea of how we are selected, because we may say whatever we may about the woman, but in that movie it showed her determination to get us somewhere, and how behind the scenes they still played with us. They give you all of these suggestions like, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that for you. And it's still, 1972, almost 50 years ago, or beyond 50 years ago, they're still doing the same thing. They'll make you a promise, and when push comes to shove, they remove that promise from your hands and leave you looking like, damn, I truly believe. I believe that this could have happened for our people, and they remove it. And sometimes, like Brother Alton Maddox, Baba Alton Maddox said, they rob us in front of our faces. They remove our options from us, and we are not motivated enough to change.
That film, again, you're gonna see a clip where how they use politics to divide the Black man and Black woman. I'm telling you, y'all got to see it. Now I ain't tooting nobody's horn, but there are certain things that took place in history that you need to know about. But
Hey, Mr. Keisha, let me say something real quick, and then I'll let it go,
brother.
I want to go back on something when Tad was talking earlier, about maybe 20 minutes ago, when he mentioned about the SAs, and I said 6. We need to look at this numerologically as well. Number 6 in numerology represents a pregnant woman. The top being the head, and then the loop being the baby that's about to come out of her. Number 9 represents the number of completion, which means it's a full-grown baby, adult, whatever. It's just an adult, with a head and a body. Okay, so now we get to the number 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 24. Well, let's say 2024. 2, 2, 4, 8. The number 8 represents the yin and the yang, or what's really behind Sister Marcia's head, but sideways as opposed to top to bottom. And in that number, you find the yin and the yang, and the number 8 is karma. So whoever doing dirty right now, these are the consequences you are going to meet. We're not going to get into the issue of whether they going to jail or not. I believe that them dudes is already dead, and they just playing this out in front of you. So when they actually say it, it's like, well, they deserved it anyway, because they're going to show you the footage. They're not going to not show you the footage. There's footage of everything he's being accused of that's reputable enough to make it into the media. I'm done. Y'all go ahead.
It seems that Mayor Adams can't seem to get away from troublesomes. First it was the pastor, Lamar Whitehead, or whatever his name is, with the shenanigans. And now Diddy. See, clout chasing will get you in a whole lot of trouble, sir. Real ones understand that, but clout chasing will get you in trouble. Here we go. It's time to take that key back. Here we go.
Boy,
all entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album.
Now tell me, what did this man do outside of being an entertainer and having a partnership in a charter school would warrant him receiving the key to the city?
Not a damn thing.
Can I? He did. He has.
What has he done for our communities?
You asking me?
Yeah, you said he has. You said he has. I'm talking about our communities.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. He did a sacrifice at City College to Moloch.
Okay, who's Moloch?
Okay, so what else?
Moloch.
Who's
Moloch? Moloch.
You don't.
Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was somewhere along that realm, but you know.
That's another symbol of the devil, if you will. I'm reading this all symbolically, just like that bridge that fell down that's named after one of the most racist songs ever created for the whole country.
Absolutely. But again, how does that sacrifice, Brother Black, how does that sacrifice benefit our community? Because all we see through that sacrifice, all we see is our community's demise. I want to see our community's upliftment.
Are you from the same community Puffy's from?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so there you go. I'm talking about his community, not yours.
But I'm talking about my community.
I just told you how he benefited it. You take that, and buy his records. That's your reward.
I never bought a Diddy record.
Well, then you ain't messing with him.
Me either.
Everything I ever got from Bad Boy was free.
I never bought.
I did buy Biggie CDs, but that's
I had them copied on tape from CDs. I ain't playing no games.
We old school Black, right?
Was my friend back
we old school like that.
LimeWire was my friend back then. I used to download.
Okay,
I used to download so much. People were like, "Yo, you gonna get caught." I was like,
Hey, Marcia, you don't know nothing about floppy disk. Come on.
Hold on.
Dude.
Shout out to the history hitman, 100 Black men law enforcement who care. He says, Sister Keisha, the writing you read are the things that I discussed with Attorney Maddox up until the end. That's dope because, you know, he and Brother Ray was definitely with the attorney at war up until the end. I have to say this, you know, people would always ask Alton, why don't you write a book? You know, you need to write a book. He wrote volumes and he gave it to you free every Wednesday in the form of a program. This is what I'm reading from. I kept them and I just digitized them. You know what I'm saying? So it's all there. That's what I'm saying. Our greats left us a blueprint. And all we got to do is pick it up. That's all you got to do is pick it up and understand what we're dealing with. Now, I want you also to remember that when you are studying moments in history, you be clear. When you are studying moments in history, you better study it entirely, not the parts that just make you feel good, right? Because if I put up, let me see, Justice Roger Taney, right? Supreme Court Justice who gave the, you know, very popular dictum of the Brother Taz said it. Or if I put up Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Ron DeSantis, and whoever and Andrew Jackson, which of those five? Now I'm asking the panel, which of those five you would think did the best for Black people? Justice Roger B. Taney, Donald Trump, President Joe Biden, Governor Ron DeSantis, and who else I said? Hillary Clinton. It don't matter. Of those four, who do you think serviced black people more?
So you're gonna read this in the notes?
I'm asking, of those four, who do you think did the best for black people? Was it Justice Roger Taney? Was it former President Andrew Jackson? Was it Donald Trump or current President Joe Biden or Governor Ron DeSantis? Just take a pick. Just take a pick. Go ahead, Sister Marcia. Take a pick.
Ain't no right pick, but
I'm saying Trump.
I'm gonna say Taney.
Sister Marcia says Taney. Taz says Trump. Brother Black, you want to try it?
You already know my answer, Sister Keisha.
He would say Trump as well.
Of course.
But it was actually Justice Roger Taney. See, we heard the dictum. And like I said, we study history so incorrectly these days. This man was gifted enslaved Africans after the death of his father, right? You know what he did? He set them all free. He set them all free, and the older ones who could no longer work, he gave them a pension, if you will. He also was in partnership with, I believe, Samuel Chase of the Chase family to fight against the enslavement of black people. When he read that dictum, he was telling you the feeling of white folks, not necessarily himself.
I never knew that.
Sister Keisha, stop right there. I
Yes,
want you to pick back up, because this is in alignment with a post that I made a couple of days ago about our antiquated rhetoric. And see, we regurgitate that because you're teaching me something right now. Because we always hear his quotes that the black man doesn't have any rights that white men are bound to respect. And we were told that was his ruling. But you're saying that was not the ruling.
It was the ruling of the justices. He read a dictum, meaning a summary.
Right.
And in that summary, he gave his opinion. That quote was his opinion. He's telling you, just like Charles Sumner, Senator Charles Sumner, during that same time, told black people, you have to form your own political party. And he warned black people that white supremacy is the law of the land. When he said that on the House floor, they almost beat him to death. So I'm saying we got to study history correctly. Now, let me show you this real quick.
Thank you for that, sis. Because now we have our homework assignment to look deeper into that before we continue to regurgitate that, because we learned that now tonight, March 28th, 2024. We shouldn't be repeating that next year.
Thank you, Sister
That's
Keisha.
the antiquated rhetoric my post was about the other day. We hear people say things, and it may be our teachers, and this is what I was saying to Sister Marcia. Sometimes we say things that are not factual. It's not intentionally lying. However, we're misinformed. So we hear somebody we trust and we regurgitate it. So we keep running around saying that. Because along with the Dred Scott decision, didn't Dred Scott's wife sue the courts? And she won her case, correct? And that's something, and I remember, I think it was you or the History Hitman that brought that to my attention some years ago. It was either you or Brother Mike Grace that brought that to my attention, something I wasn't privy to. So it opened my eyes to look deeper. And that's what I say about our rhetoric. Because, sis, you just dropped the jewel on me.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, because I just want us to not see things clearly. Because in this fight, as we progress ourselves, we have to know the difference of an ally. An ally is temporary. It's not long life. It's temporary. And use that for our benefit. So we can actually use a lot of things that Justice Taney wrote about in his memoirs. I'm just using this right here. I don't feel like pulling out the book. But in his memoirs, he talked about a lot of different things that he, Samuel Chase, and others were into and almost lost their lives in the process. So I just wanted us to have a clear understanding. I'm not championing him. I just want us to have a clear understanding
Right.
of what we're talking about here.
Yes. So we can move forward properly. And I want my reparation from Chase for them $35 overdraft fees they were smacking me with.
Thanks.
Because they are foul.
Hey, I want to touch something real quick, Tad, that you sparked in my mind while you were speaking. I know a sister that sent me a link, but I never could open it because it's so gangster. It said that, and maybe y'all heard about this, but I look for it and can't find it. And you know I'm a dog researcher. I look for it to, sometimes I go with 700-800 links into something I'm looking for where they trying to throw you that way and it's that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she sent me a link and that I could never open, and then they just scrubbed it off the internet, that said that Putin and Trump warned, I guess, the ops, their ops, you know, our ops as well, but they warned them to stop messing with us because 144 of us, 1,000 of us is going to get our superpowers. Now, because I didn't open the link, I didn't read it specifically, but y'all know I already broached that subject on this platform previously, maybe a year or more ago. Have any of y'all heard of that in light of what just Tad was just saying a minute ago?
I haven't heard that.
Okay. Just putting it out there.
You know what I'm bugging, Brother Black?
What's up, bro?
How Putin opens the vault and show that Jesus was black. And I'm like, where he been for the past God knows how long?
The difference in that is that
he a white man who said it.
Artifact and proof. Yeah, not conjecture and okay, we accept it because y'all been saying
saw those pictures. I mean, I saw those pictures before. I don't know.
No, but this is mainstream now, bro. This ain't Dr. Valentine and history.
That's to my point. That unfortunately it has no validity until white men say it. Black people, we've been telling them Jesus black forever. The Bible tell you he black. Burnt bronze. What color is bronze? Brown. Tan. What color is it when it's burnt? Dark brown.
But see, when you in this audience, you already know Putin is a boom to what we trying to do, because he's the reason why most of them Francophone countries got France the hell up out of there in Africa.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
That's the reason why. It ain't because they get all of a sudden.
But the thing is, I don't want our people to get confused because temporarily he's an ally for the continent. Temporarily. I don't want the leaders on the continent to get misconstrued about what this is.
This is war.
When the time comes. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
China sneaking in the back door.
Because this is war, and he's just using this information as a way to gather people on his side and then dump you at the end.
No. Hold on. That's not true. It's a new day. You got to understand, in the next dimensions, if we're in the third or fourth or going toward the fifth, once that flash happened, the game is over. It's no longer the same. The whole energy is different. So things you could do in the third dimension, you cannot do in the fifth dimension because the energy won't allow it to happen. You shoot a gun, the bullet will come out and fall on the floor, and matter of fact, reverse and hit you in the head.
We shall see. We shall hear. And you
why
know,
would we need a gun in another dimension, though, Black?
It's the Matrix. You see, the gun is still in the third dimension, but yet you're sitting in the fifth dimension, so you still see the objects, but they just don't reach you, and you can reproject it.
They can only go to the fifth dimension. That's why you got to get your rose quartz crystals
from Nicholas
Bookstore. Hold on. Let me just finish this, and because we almost down to the end of our program. But I want y'all to hear this and hear it clearly. I think it was the History Hitman. Yes. He says that to this day, Chief Justice Taney is among the most respected justices in legal circles. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think he's number 6 on the New York Times list of one of the greatest judges of all time.
Facts.
I know he's definitely in the top 10. I think he was number 6.
Facts. But let me just give you a little bit of background. And then, like I said, y'all can get the memoirs. There are many books that were written about him. Some of them that I read, you can get free on archive.org. That's archive.org. You can get it free. All right. It says Taney was born into a wealthy slave-owning family in Calvert County, Maryland. He won election to the Maryland House of Delegates as a member of the Federalist Party, but later broke with the party over the War of 1812. After switching to the Democrat-Republican Party, Taney was elected to the Maryland Senate. People don't even talk about him serving in the Senate and in the Congress. People don't even talk about that, but we'll get into it. He emerged as one of the most prominent attorneys in the state and was appointed to the Attorney General of Maryland in 1827. Taney supported one of the worst presidents on the planet, Andrew Jackson's presidential campaigns in 1824 and 1828, and he became a member of Jackson's Democratic Party. After a cabinet shakeup in 1831, President Jackson appointed Taney as his attorney general. Taney became one of the most important members of Jackson's cabinet and played a major role in the Bank War. Beginning in 1833, Taney served as Secretary of Treasury under the recess appointment, but his nomination to that position was rejected by the United States Senate. In 1835, after Democrats took control of the Senate, Jackson appointed Taney to succeed the late John Marshall on the Supreme Court as Chief Justice. He was the first of 4 Democratic appointments to the office of Chief Justice. Y'all can read about them in your own time. Taney presided over jurisprudence shift towards states' rights. Remember, he was an ally for a time. Remember, but the Taney court did not reject federal authority to decree the many of Taney's critics had feared. By the early 1850s, he was widely rejected, and some elected officials looked to the Supreme Court to settle a national debate over slavery. Despite emancipating his own slaves and giving pensions to those who were too old to work, Taney was outraged by Northern attacks of the institution and sought to use his Dred Scott decision to permanently end the slavery debate. That's why he said, y'all can fight all you want, but no Negro has any rights that whites are bound to respect. This is what he was saying. He was an ally temporarily. Like I said, y'all can read his relationship with Sam Chase. Matter of fact, let me see. Hold on. I think it's something in here. After Lincoln's election, Taney sympathized with the succeeding Southern states and blamed Lincoln for the war, but he did not resign from the Supreme Court. He strongly disagreed with President Lincoln's broader I'm getting tongue-tied here. Interpretation of executive power to the American Civil War. Taney held that the president could not suspend the writ of habeas corpus. It was the law of the land. Though he may have sympathized, he understood what the law of the land was. That's why Andrew Jackson rocked with him, because he said no matter what his personal beliefs are, Taney is going to stand true to the law. So when these politicians get before you and they start pandering to you, they're going to stick to the letter of that philosophy of that political party, the letter of the law. White supremacy is the letter of the law in the land. So you can have all of these black faces in high places, but when we do that, as we do that, look at conditions now. Our conditions are worsened because you don't understand the law of the land. If you don't change it, this is what you're subject to. So when brothers getting hemmed up and, stop and frisk and, going through your vehicle, stopping you on the road, You're not protected by the law of the land at all. You have no natural rights as far as they're concerned. And it's just not here. England is the same way. Britain is the same way. It's the same way. Nobody in their right mind is going to give you more than themselves. Nobody. So that's why we must form our own political party so that we can garner the protection that we need. Even if we're not successful with the elections, the development of the party will give you sustaining power to advocate for yourselves. We don't have that today. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. But, like Brother Sad said, that's your homework assignment. Read more about Samuel Chase and Roger Taney. You know what I mean? So we are coming down to the end of our program. Family, we discussed a lot tonight. We didn't even get into, because I wanted to go back and show y'all that Department of Homeland Security should have not descended on Diddy's properties. If anything, it should have been
the FBI.
The FBI at best.
Hey, Keisha, can we get into that for about 2 minutes?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Because there was no official charge. There was no official charge at all. I don't know what's coming down the pipe. I can only speak for what I see right now. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. Brother Black, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if we could get into that for like a minute and a half or something like that, just to...
Go ahead.
Based on that meme you sent me yesterday. So can you get into that just for a minute or so?
Which meme?
It was a meme about what the Department of Homeland Security's actual duties.
I sent you
the screenshot from last week's show.
From last week. Let me
without any of this happening, sis. We always ahead of the
curve. That's why I'm asking, because I thought you sent it. I'm reading things now symbolically, so maybe I read it that way and thought you had more of a meaning to it than just a picture. Yeah, if you could get into that for just a minute.
You're muted, sis.
Let me see. Department of Homeland Security. I hope y'all can see this.
Yeah.
This is their duties. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Coast Guard, Customs and Border Protection, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Secret Service, Transportation Security. So, if there are allegations of, I don't know, listen, it's alleged that there was some trafficking of individuals. I don't know if it was across countries, if it was across states. We have no idea. So again, I ask, why is Department of Homeland Security? This is not their jurisdiction. If it was SAs going on or illicit drug use or whatever, has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that.
Can I ponder? Can I give you a reason why I think it could be?
Go ahead.
We now know whether we, I know that in most of the major cities all over the world, not even major cities, everywhere, and the epicenter of it all in the world is Ukraine, is that I believe this guy is rich enough and insulated enough to have underground tunnels where people may have been showing up.
That could be Black. It could be, but again, we don't know because there was no official charges.
Can we assume that he had a direct in New York, had a direct contact from his luxurious apartment somewhere on the Central Park or something like that to the Shabbat synagogue that just got exposed not 2 months ago? Hello?
I don't know. I can't allege that because I can't see it. See what I'm saying? We can speculate based on what we're seeing in these internet streets. We can speculate, but we can't say for certain because, again, there is no charge. So basically, when his sons were detained and handcuffed, I would hope that somebody of the two of them would say, wait a minute, are we under arrest? Because if we are, then we need legal representation. Now, those law enforcement agents could have possibly said, no, you're not under arrest, playing tricks with the words and say, no, we're just detaining you while we search the premises because we have this search warrant. Well, then if I can't leave, then I am either being detained or under arrest. Either way, I need legal representation here because you're preventing me from leaving, right? You're not, if that warrant didn't have those two gentlemen on it, why are they being detained? This is all for, like Black said, optics, if you will. To let you know we can pull up on you and do what we will to you. Why? You are not protected under natural rights. You're not.
Damn, you hit me with a ton of bricks right there.
I mean, it's the truth though. But with Puff having the money he has, hopefully any lawyer with a GED should be able to navigate this and really maneuver. Because what it is like Sister Keisha just said, this is a show, and this is a show for the layman. They want to convict them in the court of public opinion. So if they do trump up charges and get him in court, the jury pool is already tainted because they plastered it everywhere. See, it's a psychological game that they play many times, and that's why it's important we keep our minds guarded. This is what I talk about, antiquated rhetoric. Even within our own Black / African-centered community, as Sister Keisha just pointed out, you know, regurgitating rhetoric that Judge Taney hated us and this, that, and the third. You know, these are things we were told by supposedly scholarly teachers, but maybe they weren't given these instructions back then because their teacher may have been emotional. And again, we have to really be thoughtful in our approach to a lot of these things. Sister Keisha, and actually there is a tunnel under there. Some former people, some former workers in Diddy's mansion showed the blueprints that the Playboy Mansion is up the block. And I think just about all of those mansions have tunnels that go to Hugh Hefner's old crib. But I forgot what white actor lived there before Puff. One of them old school joints. It was predominantly old white actors living there when those tunnels was built. But it's funny how they always try to use us as the fall guy. So these things we got to be very mindful of, because I doubt Diddy had somebody dig out the tunnels like the Heimlichs did here in New York at the synagogues. You know,
I was about to say that, Chad.
Look,
you know,
before the 70s, they would have been white faces. They probably would have been Italians or Irish or
no, I forget the names, and I'm going to look again for those names because it's all the names we know. It might even be Warren Beatty and all those kind of old school dudes. You know what I'm saying? But again, they always use us as a fall guy, and I'm glad Sister Keisha tied it to the politics of civil rights and natural rights. Because in their paradigm, we have no natural rights. But remember, the only laws we really respect, us as Black folks, is universal laws and the laws of nature. But they don't know about that. They'll say natural laws, but they don't understand that there's other laws afoot, like Brother Black be talking about the fifth dimension. I don't know why you're going to have an AK-47 there shooting yourself in the foot, but, you know, if the aliens get aggressive, I guess you go hold yourself down.
That's the reason why I mentioned weaponry is because that's as far as they can go. So, of course, like you have fifth dimension behavior in the third dimension, you have third dimension behavior in the fifth, but it's going to eradicate itself soon after it get there if it don't get right.
I was about to say, you get kicked out though, right? Like, yo, we're not doing that 3D shit here.
Nah, the nature, the energy will kick you out. Nobody will have to do anything to you. You'll just like spontaneously combust or just like lay down and never get up again.
Damn, that sounds bad. I'm falling and I can't get up.
I cannot
Sister Keisha,
with
close
these
out the
guys. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and comments. We can get up out of here because Black hit us with that one. That was his final thoughts and comments. Sister Marcia, Africans on the rise. What's your final thoughts and commentary?
Brothers and sisters, you know, study different formats of study, understanding, understanding, and being mindful of the things that you're learning. It's a lot to learn in a short period of time. But once you learn it, you understand it, you share it. You must Sankofa. You can't beg the future generation to Sankofa anything that you're not going to Sankofa yourself. We want to present a fruitful future. We must become fruitful ourselves. I'd like to thank everyone for sharing these past 2 hours with us. It was very informative, as always. My brothers and sisters have done a fabulous job of sharing knowledge. And as always, may time flourish. And if it may not flourish, make it flourish. You have the power to wield it, so wield it well. Brother Tad.
Brother Black.
Sister Keisha, being that you only gonna give me for 30 seconds, I'm just gonna plug my book again. I was talking about this. Sister Keisha already okayed the book on the site. So if y'all really want to get at me, Elias Flavius on Facebook. The book is about $30. If I gotta mail it to you, you add another $8, $9 of postage, just say $40 is a wrap. All right, Brother Tad, much love to the panel. Sister Keisha, Sister Marcia, see y'all next week on the Baltimore Bridge.
Not me.
Ain't no Baltimore Bridge. They took it down. The keys are down.
Ain't no Baltimore Bridge.
The keys to the city is down. That's
Diddy got a key.
Huh?
Use Diddy key. Have you ever been swallowed?
No.
Keisha, drop the mic on them.
But family, definitely want to tune y'all for. Want to thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all got me all discombobulated.
You're tuning people? You got the key.
Yeah.
Y'all trying to get rid of Sister Keisha now. It's too late for that.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank our audience, thank our Sister Marcia, Brother Black, Sister Keisha. Family, we really want you to take a deeper look into things as they're presented to you, and you have to look at who is presenting things to you. Only believe half of what you hear, half of what you see and none of what you hear. All right, we have to be an evidence-based people. Just stop accepting things as it's presented to us, because we're in charge of our own mind, our own thought patterns, processes, and well-beings. And though people may have our best intentions at heart, we still have to peel back the layers and go a little deeper, because maybe they're misinformed. There's some things that I've learned today, particularly about Judge Roger Taney, that's prompted me to take a deeper look into who he is and his role in the Black experience during our sojourn here in America. And this is very important, because hopefully every week we come, you can walk away with a jewel that make you question things that you've been told to believe as facts and truths. All right? So family, hopefully you were inspired by some things you heard tonight. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Thank you, family, for joining us for another, as Sister Marcia, Black-taculous Thursday. We went in tonight. We discussed a lot. So I hope you go home and check out what I've been talking about, what we've been discussing, the group of us, if you will. Remember to check out Quiet on the Set, the documentary of what took place Nickelodeon with Dan Schneider and Brian Peck, and also the movie Shirley Chisholm. Check that out on Netflix if you can. You're going to learn a lot. And remember, as you watch that film, remember the things that we discuss on this platform. So be good to each other. Look out for each other. Remember, we all we got. Good night, y'all. We out.
Hey.
Let's go. I can't shake it loose. This the hate produced. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil. Ain't no truce. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose. This the hate produced. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil. Ain't no truce. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth. And Look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. You peak, pale skin beast. I hate your red, white, and blue. And Ku Klux Klan sheets. I hate your president, your senate, and your campaign speech. I hate the British and the Romans and the goddamn Greeks. It's no peace, yeah. Moral persuasion doesn't work with Caucasians. You speak this language through violence with guns blazing. So what I'm saying, negotiating with Satan is to waste the time. You out your African mind. Gonna make these devils pay for every single